All right, let's call the meeting in order of November 12th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please take the roll?
Councilmember Wood,
Here.
Councilmember Richardson,
Present.
Councilmember Crossman,
Here.
Councilmember Kangeiser. Here. Councilmember Hess.
Here.
Councilmember Palmer,
Here.
Councilmember Kaminsky.
Here.
Mayor DePinto.
Here. Moving on to agenda approval. Can we get a motion to approve agenda?
We approve tonight's agenda.
Motion by Councilmember Wood, second by Councilmember Palmer. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on, we have a special presentation today, our winter weather preparation, and this is going to be done by Dean. Take it away, please.
I'm sure all of you know me, but Dean Norton, I am the operations manager in the Public Services Department. I'm here to just do a very brief overview of the winter operations plan. We have two anti-ice trucks this year. Last year we only had one, so we're trying to, I don't know, beef that up a little bit to get some more roads done. We have one salt or sand truck and two plow trucks this year. So not a lot is changing. We're adding a little bit, but we still have the people to cover it and get it all done. The plowing obviously will be done with 3 inches or more. We're not going to, we would like to be more proactive this year and try to put down anti-icer as we see a weather event coming. I know that's a lot easier said than done, especially in Washington. We won't be able to always put down the anti-icer before a weather event because of the rain and the wet pavement. So we're trying to be more proactive. That's the goal this year. But obviously it'll be weather dependent.
Dean, could you talk about why it's important to do it without the rain? What happens and all that?
Yeah, once you put down the liquid anti-icer, which is basically just a salt brine, it's water, it's a water-based salt. And as soon as rain hits it or any moisture gets on it, it pretty much just, it washes it all away. So we would like to, obviously put it down when the pavement's dry and there's no rain in the forecast. A little bit of rain isn't going to wash it all away, but obviously a pretty good downpour, which we get here a lot, and completely alleviate all of that salt brine that we put down and all that time we spent doing it. So obviously it'll be very weather dependent, but our goal is to make sure that we try to do that as much as we can, when we can, and get ahead of inclement weather and not trying to play catch up after it's already happened. So that's pretty much all I have, unless anybody has any questions. Yeah.
Councilmember Crossman.
Can I request that the intersection of Grove and 103rd gets special attention?
Well, I have great news for you. So we did reorganize the route map a little bit. 103rd and Grove will be getting more attention than it has before. I do realize and understand that some of that section of 103rd is county. But I know Cody and I have talked about this. We're willing to go ahead and get it done because it does affect the residents of, the city of Yelm more so than it does anybody else. So I can't imagine the county's gonna be coming out here doing that. So yes,
It's a national intersection when it gets icy.
it is not good. 103rd Avenue last year was very tough to navigate. So this year we have a little bit different approach that we're gonna take with 103rd, and does involve us being more proactive.
Other questions for Dean? Councilmember Kaminsky?
After you finish the main roads, do you ever go on and continue into some of the neighborhoods or doing?
Yes,
the
yeah.
Streets?
So the priority one level roads obviously are your collectors and your major roads within the city. 2 will be the roads that we've identified as the second level of, roads that should be hit. And then the third roads, which is the residential roads, we will get there eventually. It will take a little bit longer for us to get there, especially during a weather event. If there's a lot of snow coming down, we are going to stay on the priority 1 level roads. Those are the priority. But once that weather event does subside, we can move on to 2, and then we can move on to 3. And
And you don't do parking lots like for private property like
No.
stores? You can't, you're not allowed to do that. Okay. Thank you.
Other questions, comments?
Do you know how much or how many days we budgeted for as far as like de-icer and how much we can put down and that sort of thing, like a rough, like we got 4 days of de-icer that we can put down or?
I think I know what you're trying to ask there. As of right now, it takes about 275 to 400 gallons, somewhere in there, to spray what we had last year. After the rework of the actual map, it'll take a little bit more than that. But you will see later on at another meeting where I bring an ILA to purchase anti-icing material from the county, which is much cheaper. We will be able to buy more of it. So that's a tough question to answer right now, but
We'll have a request in the future. So
yes, yeah, it's a tough one to answer without giving you a ton of info that you haven't seen yet, so.
Thank you.
Counselor Richardson.
I'm just curious, finding out about this now, is there any collaboration or even communication like with school district and bus routes with this at all? Is that a thing?
There has not been this year, as far as bus routes go, no.
They're kind of on their own.
Yeah, they have, we really didn't, I didn't take into account, or we didn't take into account really bus routes. We took into account what the major collector and arterial roads were within the city. And then, of course, fire and police services, that is one of the top priorities as well. So we, hit right here for the police, the bus barn, that is included because that does affect fire and police as well, so.
Okay, just curious.
Other questions, comments? All right, thank you, Dean.
Rob is gonna give an update for the police.
Okay.
You want? Real quick for us at the police department, our vehicles will all, when the weather gets bad, they're good with the all terrain type cars. We have one 4-wheel drive, so we've never had an issue in regards to those cars working through the snow or ice or anything like that. So as far as our vehicles goes, our staffing stays the same, just 24/7, and we don't change anyone's hours in regards to those things. If the weather starts to go bad at night or on the weekends, we notify Public Works, let them know what the conditions are looking like. They can come out and take care of it as they see fit. If we have a predicted major storm, whether it's snow, ice, wind, myself and the city leadership will get together and we'll come up with a plan. And try to go forward with that plan in regards to what we see, and our officers will be noted about that plan, and they'll also notify Public Works because they'll be involved. If something happens like in 2012 when we had that major ice storm, power was out for a long period of time. Our emergency operations center would be activated at that point in conjunction with Thurston County Emergency Management. And then schools were used for sheltering for folks that didn't have heat and needed to have that warmth. We also, on warming centers, it's not uncommon for the senior center to open, the library to open. So there's options for us. And also when the weather's super cold and we have folks that, unsheltered folks that are out and about, Olympia, there's other places for those sheltered areas for them to stay warm. So giving them that location and either getting on the bus or we take them depending on the situation. So we do have those options. Other than that, that's how we operate the police department. Any questions for me?
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah.
All right, that ends our special presentations. We do have public comment now. Gene, would you like to say anything? Yeah,
A lot of things.
if you want.
Maybe I should, give a little report on the progress on the museum. I think with any luck, we'll be ready to open it up maybe the end of this week, first of next week. So I'd like to thank the city and the council for their help and cooperation in getting a relocation and getting it done.
We do have a temporary open at the Yelm Community Center. Yep.
There'll be signs out.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gene.
May I just add on to
Please.
a little?
Yeah.
So I've been able to kind of sneak peek tour and I got to hug Faye Fuller this morning. They have these like almost, well, my life size versions. So I'm very much looking forward to the presentation of that entire area when it's done.
Yeah, that's very cool. All right, moving on to, is there anyone online that wishes to speak?
We don't have any hands raised.
All right, moving on to the consent agenda. We have the October 22nd, 2024 Yelm City Council meeting minutes and September 24 check register and position summary. Can you get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Second by Councilor Wood. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Motion carries. Moving on to new business, we have a few appointments. Starting with Jabith Schaefer to the Parks Advisory Committee. The packet is in your, excuse me. The interview packet is in your council packets. And I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of these people, but let's start off with Jabith, who is a Southworth Booster Club president, was secretary, and then also a member at large. I spoke with all these appointees. They are still all willing to serve and they're excited to serve. Happy to answer any questions on any of them. Councilor Wood.
I move we approve Mayor DePinto's appointment of Jabeth Schaefer to the Parks Advisory Committee.
Second.
So Councilor Palmer, is there any other discussion? Councilor Richardson.
I don't know if it's on this one or the other one, but I was just wondering why one of them had put an application in sometime in April 23, and maybe why it took so long for them to fill the position.
Sure. So we do keep applications on file for forever, basically. If someone vacates a seat, we usually just go next person up. And that's why, at the time, that person wasn't chosen for whatever reasons. And now they are.
All right, good answer.
Other questions? There's a motion second. All those in favor of appointment of Jabith Schaefer to the Parks Advisory Committee, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
One nay, motion carries. Moving on to the appointment of Rabina Gaines to the Tree Advisory Board. Any questions on Rabina? Councilmember Palmer.
Move to approve Mayor DePinto's appointment of Rabina Gaines to the Tree Advisory Board.
Second.
So by Councilor Kingizer, is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. Moving on to the last appointment, which is Stephen Berg to the Tree Advisory Board. Any discussion or comments on Stephen? Councilmember Wood.
I move we approve Mayor DePinto's appointment of Stephen Berg to the Tree Advisory Board.
Second.
Second by Councilor Palmer. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay.
Nay.
Motion carries. Go ahead, Councilmember.
Wasn't there an applicant for the Arts Commission? A new person?
There were some others, some of them didn't. Some are politically. I don't think they would pass politically, on council, so that's why I did not vote them.
Oh,
There was one application submitted after these were already in the process to, just within the last couple of days, there was another one submitted, but these were already in the process.
okay, so you have nobody in line for the Arts Commission position.
There are, but I don't believe it would pass the council, so I don't want to bring up a nomination if it's not gonna pass the council. All right.
It's ongoing.
And we will be doing, as we relook at our council mayor handbook, we will be redoing this process as well. We'll be looking at it when it comes up to us. So we'll absolutely take recommendations that we've had in the past for these nominations and the appointment process, and council will have an opportunity to change that if they wish. All right, anything else on those, on the appointments? All right, moving on towards outside agency funding recommendations. After our last study session, myself and Todd, we reached out to some of these folks that council had wanted to see more funding for and be responsible. We wanted to make sure that they were going to use and utilize all these funds, not just, make sure, we want to make sure that taxpayer money was in the right place. And so I do want to say that we did increase the Yelm Senior Center to 23,000. excuse me, 24,000, excuse me. And that's about 2/3 of their budget for the year. That was an increase that we've seen. My first year as mayor, we gave them an increase. And then council again chose to increase that. So they have 2/3 of their funding now supported by the city of Yelm. The rest is made up between their membership dues and fundraisers. I think that's a good thing. We take care of the most vulnerable and most needy for the city of Yelm, and I think that it goes to a good cause. Moving on to the next change that we would do would be to increase bounties for families. I believe we gave a little bit less prior, but we now give 12,000 to them. And the remaining is 5,000 to South Puget Sound Habitat for Humanity, 5,000 for Rebuilding Together Thurston County, as council indicated they want to make those equal. And Total Sports Development got a little bit less with 4,000. Any questions, comments on that? I know it's not everyone's perfect slate, but I think it represents council as a whole, what y'all wanted.
It was a good compromise, Mr. Mayor. Yeah.
Sounds good. Other than that, if there's any questions, happy to answer.
Just going back to what you were saying, Chief, about the warming centers, if somebody asks us where there is one today, we don't know because they have no set schedule. It's just kind of like, we'll try over there, try over there.
When the county issues severe warning weather, we start reaching out. They also start reaching out for areas in Yelm that we can provide, and then we put that flyer out and contact and make sure that they're able to use the time for their facility.
Where do you post that? Like,
It's on Thurston County Emergency Management website. We can also post it on our website. And they have flyers that they have for them, and that's generally what they do in regards to that. But it's after Thurston County has issued a severe warning.
so we can't plan for it.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, moving on to old business. It's not scheduled. Moving on to standing council committee reports, starting with Public Safety Committee.
So just hold on. Oops. We had a good meeting last week. Some of the things to bring up, the flock cameras. They are installed, operational. Chief has come up with the memorandum that is for the policy and everything, so they are actually in use now. What's really nice about it is that they are starting to get lots of hits in reference to stolen vehicles coming through our community, and a variety of other things coming through our community. So hopefully they will pan out to be very effective on helping people recover their vehicles, as well as the one things that we're really looking forward to is the gray alert, the silver alerts, and I was gonna say the red alerts, amber alerts, and variety of the other alerts that happen and that those cameras will pick up. Also, they have 3 individuals that are considered for hiring for 2 open positions. One of those positions is for Officer Gray. Did I say that correctly? Okay. He will be retiring at the end of this year. And Noah Sorensen, he's a graduate and currently he is doing field training at this time. Let's see. We got, the retirement. The chaplain program that is happening within our community for the law enforcement, it's set up, it's working out really well. It's a good change to see happen within that law enforcement community and first responder community in particular, because it used to be that they couldn't talk about anything. It was a sign of weakness, and we're starting to as a society recognize that no, that's not weakness. It takes a lot of strength to come forward and talk about those things. So they have a chaplain and he is one with the county, and so their officers are able to communicate with that chaplain. Also, the new P25 digital radios, they will be finally implemented. They've already been in the vehicles, but now it's going to be the ones that are individual officers are going to have theirs. So we're going to be off of the analog system, and they're going to all have their new radios operational. Miss Sonia, she happened to be on vacation, so there was no court update, and that's where we're at right now.
Thank you. Moving on to Public Services Committee. Moving on to Finance Committee.
Well, we just had a finance meeting And our director Stephanie is going to be coming next session, next meeting with a procurement policy revision, which is about adding guidelines to our on-call public works people, the people we use all the time for services. And the state auditor is requiring us to redo a policy for electronic signatures. So they're very straightforward, so she's gonna bring that to us at our next meeting. And the one with all the meat and bones was the proposed code changes that are coming up, and there's several issues in there, and she's going to bring that to study session next time. December. Yeah. And that was it. All right.
Moving on to General Governance Committee. All right. Mayor, City Minister, staff reports. Todd.
Thanks, Mayor. Just a couple things to add to the other reports. Several of us attended the chamber lunch today. Council members gave an update on some of the parks and that are going on. And in addition, community conversations happens tomorrow. Still on that from you, by the way.
Thank you.
We had it on your list, but at Kinja tomorrow at noon. We have a 5K turkey trot that'll happen on Thanksgiving Day. For those of you that would prefer to run rather than eat turkey. And then for Christmas in the Park celebrations on that Friday, we have tree lighting at the Yelm City Park at 5 p.m. on that Friday. At the same time, we have free pictures with Santa from 5:30 to 7. And then on that Saturday, the 7th, will be the annual Christmas parade, followed by activities in the park immediately following that. On December 9th is our Yelm Centennial documentary premiere at Yelm Cinemas. Tickets are available for that. We have a Cocoa Trail Fun Run and the Winter Solstice Walk that will wrap up our activities for December.
Thank you.
I thought I read that movie was free to the public. Maybe they changed it.
It is, but I think it's just limited to how many people can attend it at one time. And I think that's what the tickets are. I don't think it costs anything.
Oh,
I think it's just the limit. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
For me, I attended the South Sound Military Partnership meeting here with a few of others, Councilmember Kaiser, Councilmember Crossman, as well as Todd. We had a business roundtable, was it last week or the week prior?
Last week.
Last week. Few different businesses showed up, and the main topics were talk about crime and safety, the flock system, transportation projects. Want to say thank you to council members Hess and Palmer for your service. Veterans Day was on Monday. It's always good to have council members with that military background that can give us that perspective. We're such a military community here in Yelm, so thank you for your service. And other than that, that's all I got. Start with council report, starting with Councilmember Wood.
I attended the TCOM, the Emergency 911 System Administrative Board meeting. We passed the budget, and that was about the extent of our meeting. I have a Transportation Policy Board meeting in the morning, and I'll let you know what exciting, fun stuff's happening over there when I.
Sounds good. All right, Councilor Richardson.
Well, I got to spend some time with Jeannie at the Senior Center. We did some counting of the ballots for their new board. And so we've got that figured out. So they've got a new board stepping into leadership. Also, they are so ecstatic about the support they feel from this community, from the city, from this staff here. They are so thankful for everything that you guys do. And they can't express it more. They just are so thankful. So thank you for supporting our seniors and just showing that you do value them. I also have had an invitation to sit on a elected official persons of color panel. You guys can't go because you're not brown like me. So I got invited to go. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. So I get to do that. And but yeah, because I guess the reasons why they have that is was the first time I think last year they had in the region, there was somebody on every city council. There was a person of color, at least one person of color in every city council in that region, which was kind of a new thing. So you know, I get to go to this thing. I'm excited to participate, and you know, I just hopefully they invite me back because sometimes I say things and whatever, it's fine. But yeah, that's going to be fun, and it's fun to represent the city of Yelm on that panel. So that's coming up in December. I'll let you guys know how that goes, whether or not you should be embarrassed or be thankful.
Thank you. Councilor Crossman.
So yes, I attended the SSMCP breakfast. Biggest takeaway reminder was that I-5 rebuild over the Nisqually River, that's going to jack up traffic like crazy. But that won't be until years down the road, hopefully. So. the
For the
traffic-
listening audience, can you tell us what SSMC is?
The South Sound Military Coalition Partners. I'm looking for Todd because he can rattle off a lot faster than I can. Community partners, yeah, so it's between elected officials in the region and the base. So we get together, collaborate on things. And so I have a buddy who's part of that, he's always invited me, so but yeah, so they talk about some different things. That was the main thing that caught my attention. Of how that will affect traffic here in the near future in a few years. Let's keep on that. Then the business roundtable, it would be nice to figure out a way to get more businesses involved with that. That was the second one I attended, and it was kind of the same people. And there's a whole lot more businesses out there that should attend that. Be nice, and I hope to see everyone sign up for the parade. I look forward to it, the Christmas parade. I plan to have it be there with a float. And looks like it.
Thank you. Councilmember King-Heiser.
Yeah, it's been a bit busy. I got to actually attend the fire authority meeting in person, which is super exciting for me. Usually it's a Zoom kind of a thing. I actually got to tour the station afterwards. It was kind of a quick meeting, but kind of figuring out what to listen for and kind of watching the flow of that is pretty fascinating. Right after that, I got to Zoom right over to the business roundtable. That was the first time I was able to attend anything like that. The one thing I took from that one actually was it was really neat to just literally have everybody, I guess, in a circle and just expressing their different points of view. Having different businesses in such close vicinity, even it's really kind of wild. Just to hear the different experiences, even in a close vicinity. So that was really neat for me to experience as well. At the breakfast that you've talked about, Marilyn Strickland was there. That was really neat. I got to see her in person. She's shorter than I thought. I say that out loud.
But taller than the mayor?
Somewhere
We're
between.
close, we're close.
Can't believe you let me get away with it.
Anyway, she kind of paraphrased a bit of what she had shared was the mission that we have as local community. And when we are unified, we work together, and that's when America is at its best. And I thought that was really, really neat to hear on election week. And even, so I've been planning also the Best of Nisqually Gala through our Yelm Chamber of Commerce. And there's so many moving parts within our community, on the city level, the state level, and the federal level. And it just, it really spoke to me a lot, just to be able to be there and meet somebody in such high regard. And then just hear each of these different speakers kind of say similar things. Another one that Colonel Hope brought up was really hitting home that partnerships are so important on the military base like JBLM. They're always ready to go, and they just always have that mentality. Military and community come together in this area in such a beautiful way. And with the Madigan Army Medical Facility, I can't remember that gal's name, but care with compassion. And that was kind of the huge theme between all of these speakers. And so it was just kind of neat to just be able to be in the room with so many, I guess, great leaders and just hear this theme of unity and compassion and like, this is where we're going. So that's it.
A lot of good speakers.
Good today, sorry, thanks.
Councilmember Hess.
Nothing new to report.
Councilmember Park.
There was a solid waste advisory committee meeting, and they wanted to remind everybody going into the Christmas season that there will be Christmas tree recycle boxes going out, so don't dump your trees on the sides of the roads and everything else. And they use the Christmas trees for compost, so.
Good to know. Councilmember Kaminsky.
I attended the Chamber of Lunch today, and Chris Wood, our superintendent of schools, was the guest speaker. It was very interesting conversation about the levy and why the levy didn't pass and what we could do to make it pass, and just a comment from me personally, I'm sorry to hear that so little money is going to the sports complex people who want to help the kids be in sports, because it seems like everything has kind of been taken off the plate for them. So that's just my personal feeling. And that's it.
All right, I did want to bring back or talk real quick about our ribbon cutting we had last week for Rivas Avenue. It was in honor of Mayor Adam Rivas, who passed away years ago, former mayor from 2001 to 2005. And it was really nice to hear from his family and see all his family members there in support of it. And yeah, so thank you, Rivas family. It was really nice. Other than that,
One more question.
Sure.
I'm sorry, Todd, when is the candlelight walk thing? Do you have a date on that? Can't remember what you called.
we do have a date for that.
What did you say?
Winter solstice one.
Yeah, the solstice one, yep, yep.
December.
On the soul.
December 18th.
At what time?
What time is
I
it?
do not know that,
Oh,
but we will post that. We will post it.
One more question for you, Mayor. The 26th, or, I didn't look at the calendar. Are we still doing a council meeting on the 26th?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. No.
The town, so I'll zoom in, but,
For the November one?
yes, yeah,
November one, actually, let me see here.
November 26th.
We actually do have that meeting. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about Christmas.
No.
No, the 26th, we do have one. We will be hopefully passing the budget at that
So
meeting.
Councilmember Palmer will be zooming in.
Yeah, I'll be in Georgia, so.
Councilor Hess.
At that meeting, we have a presentation on beautification grants that were awarded this year and the outcome of that.
Are we gonna have a presentation on that at that meeting? Is that what you're
Yes,
asking?
that's what I'm asking, because we usually have some,
It is scheduled at one we're looking at right now. I'm pretty sure it's at the,
it's just that we've
or is it study session?
approved the money for the businesses in the community. And they've done the work. Be nice to see the outcome like we did last year.
Yeah.
December 3rd
December
study
3rd.
session.
December 3rd study session. Okay, thank you.
Anything else to go to the order? All right, hear a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
Second by Councilor Palmer. All those in favor say aye. You're adjourned.
well.